And we are live. Hello, everyone. I have a very special treat for everyone. I'm introducing you to one of my wonderful friends and students, Amanda from Science and Magic. And Amanda and I have been working together in the CEO Boss Queen program, which you guys know I'm currently enrolling for. And we've really hit it off as we're both projectors, and we both have similar stories of getting really burnt out and then having to heal ourselves. I really love Amanda's work. She is an embodiment coach, and if I ever needed an embodiment coach, like she would definitely be the person that I would go to. She really understands the nervous system, and as well as like rest and all of the yummy spiritual and scientific stuff that we talk about. I especially love that her program is called Science is Magic, as is her YouTube channel. All of the links and things that Amanda will mention are linked in the description box of this YouTube video. Amanda's YouTube channel, all her membership, Science and Magic membership, all of the other links. So kind of just want to mention, definitely go and subscribe to her YouTube channel. You guys will love her content. So I'm definitely a subscriber, and I'll be interacting with you guys in the comments. So welcome, Amanda. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. It feels like such a joy to be talking with you in this way and talking about being a projector in this wild world of hustle and bustle. So excited to be here.
Yes. And so Amanda, you are a human design projector, but you work with everyone and you work with men as well.
Yep, that's correct. I love the human body, and we all have a human body. And my specialty is working with high achieving energy or high performing energy, because I am also a high performer. I love my work. I love connecting with people. And I have experienced burnout from filling my schedule up and kind of going head first, head in on my work in the past. And I had to embody what it means to find rest and relaxation and balance within my work. And so now I coach others to do something similar, to still be in their life, to inhabit their life, but find a state of balance and rest. And I studied neuroscience in college, and I am a brain and body geek. I also love to let my mind float in mystery and the unknown, and to really admit that we don't know everything. So I like to hold both energies. And when I found your channel, Mina, I was like, you are speaking my language, because you also kind of pull from science and magic. So yeah.
Yes. And that's all what human design is about, right? Like we're outgrowing our brain as a species, and to be able to understand that the science will attract people in and then take them into the unknown and underused realm of the body and the
Yes.
quantum field. And it's just your work. I've said this to you a million times. Just the language that you use, the fact that your world is called Science and Magic, it was like, sign me up, I'm all in. So your work definitely resonates with me as well. And so, Amanda, if you would do a couple things. First, share all the wonderful things that you actually do, because I know that you have all of these different really yummy disciplines that you bring into your coaching practice and your programs as well. And then after that, if you could share with your burnout story. I think it's going to really resonate with people, because it happened early for you.
Yep. Very early.
So yeah, if you would do that, that'd be great. And I'm going to be checking in with everyone here. So don't mind me looking here, because I'm definitely listening.
Sounds good. One big part of how I help people find connection to their bodies is by finding a connection to my own. And I've been a dancer for my whole life. And I've also been a yoga instructor for 10 years now, and a yoga practitioner as well. So I spend most days just a little bit of every day in my body. And I weave the awareness that I learn through embodiment into my coaching. I also have the background in neuroscience. So I love offering science and talking about science. And at the same time, I hold space for my clients to explore and talk about their spirituality. And everyone's connection with the divine is different. And to me, that makes sense, because we all have a brain that wires in trillions of different ways, and we all have different perceptions about the world and how we relate to the unknown and the mystery. So really it's like yoga, movement, neuroscience, and then I love offering guided meditations and helping people to drop into their body, the space below the brain. It's interesting though, because the brain connects to the body through the spinal cord. So if you think of all the vertebrae, that's like an extension of your brain. So the brain is actually in the body. And we often, like, our culture and our society, many of us walk around all up here, and it's like, well, we actually, our nervous system's throughout everything. So that's kind of the approach that I take through yoga, movement, mindfulness, meditation, and then nervous system education. And my Science and Magic platform, I work with a team of other brilliant instructors, some neuroscientists, some shamans, and we work to pay attention to the rhythms of the earth. So seasons, moon phases. I have found that if I pay attention to what's going on in the natural world, I find more ease in my body. We are earth. So and I'm not an expert in, like moonology or learning about seasons or things like that. So I pulled a team of experts in to help educate us on those things. So that's kind of a mix of what I take for my coaching clients and my programs. So my burnout story, I was just a go-getter in college. Oh my goodness. I remember I'd schedule my day, like sometimes in 5-minute increments. Oh, I'm going to do a little study session here. And then I'm going to do a 15-minute like walk while I listen to this like thing for class. And then, I mean, to the T.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then after college, I started a nonprofit arts organization, and we had 150 artists on the roster. I booked shows all over the cities. And okay, all my projectors out there, imagine the energy for booking an event and then hosting the event, and what the projector hangover would be after it. That's what I call it. So I was doing this all over the cities. I love the arts. I'm good at organizing. And the organization grew throughout 4 years. And eventually I was experiencing such high anxiety levels. I could barely sleep. I didn't feel in my body. My skin was inflamed. My eyes looked tired, and I just didn't have I was a mess. And so I just said, you know what? I have to ditch this thing that I love. My nonprofit, my early 20s, it was my baby. It literally felt like my baby. So much went into it. And I was like, I need to heal. And I dissolved the organization. It broke my heart, it broke a lot of people's hearts. And I healed, and I was a waitress, which that took a lot of energy too.
One of the worst jobs for projectors, probably waitress.
Yes. But it was a different energy because it was a clock in, clock out. And so I actually had more time because I could segment my life. So I would just do the dang thing. I'd go to work, and then I'd go home and just like,
Gosh.
Yeah. And so that helped me heal because I had a lot of extra time for myself. And then eventually, like, I came back to the form of my business that I have now. And so much about what I do is different because I know that if I go head first with what I love, with my business and relationships, and I don't carve out space for balance, I'm going to hit burnout. And the thing that I love the most is going to suffer. Not the most, but one of the things I love the most, my business, will suffer.
Yes, one of the things a couple things that you said really, really resonated with me when we were working together. Guys, can you hear me? Because someone said that my volume isn't that good. So if someone can confirm. So I already posted a link at the beginning of this live stream before it even started of where you can go get your chart. So if you search Human Design Get Chart on Google, you can find out where you can see that. I know there's a delay. I'm going to wait until they respond so I know that they can still hear me.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you said about beauty was something that my mother used to say. My mom used to say that the most beautiful people are the most well-rested people. So that really resonated with me. The other thing that you said, and I had shared this with you, I was even telling my husband this because I thought this is so deep. You said that people often assume that if you're burned out, it could mean that you don't love your job or that you're not meant to do that. But you can experience burnout from something because you really love it and you're overdoing it. I really resonated with that.
Yes. And the learning that I'm constantly in with that is not even work, but relationships. Socializing for me, if I socialize too much, I get burnt out. And I love my people, but I have to have boundaries around that. So it's often the things we love. And Mina, you and I have talked about this. Like we have to block ourselves from us burning ourselves out because we have our own businesses now. And so we're accountable to that. But it's because we love it so much, we could just keep going. And you're like, you know what? No, my body or the way my energy works doesn't work like that. I have to go rest. I love that you have one of the things I told you too that I love about you is you have a bed in your background.
I crash on it, right after doing the live streams and everything. I'm like flat out.
I love it. And I have a little cozy floor mat. I pile pillows on it right here. And that's why I was like, I'm going to get along well with her.
Yes, we need rest. And this isn't just a projector thing, by the way. A lot of people that come to my work say, I'm not a human design projector, but I feel very burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
The projectors are here to lead humanity, the next level of consciousness, into the divine feminine, into the body, into the world of rest and play, and get out of that cycle of pain and then pleasure, that cycle of I have to hustle and then maybe I can have a few moments of something. So we are really modeling this for everyone by being really accountable to our energy. We can't keep going like the Energizer Bunny. It's all in the past. Even generators, manigens, everyone gets burned out if they're not using their energy correctly. So people are saying that my audio is low. That's really, really weird. And I don't want to mess with it too much because then it mutes me. Yeah, it's everything's on high.
Maybe I'll turn mine down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I just turned mine down a couple of notches.
So I'm not sure why it's doing that. So if you are not a projector, but you're resonating with the projector energy of getting burnt out and needing a lot of rest, that's a sign that you haven't been living your design, that you haven't been living in alignment. And so you guys know I'm not big on personality tests and all these things. I've never been big in even in astrology. But when I found human design after I prayed about something, it showed up in my field from actually one of my students. She introduced me to human design. It was just like coming home. I had here, I can put the mic closer to me. I had put the link to that video below. It's called Human Design Magic, Projector Magic. And so no one, I think, understands burnout the way that a projector gets burnout. We are designed to really rest and play. The more we play, the more we rest, the more magnetic we are, the more magnetic our aura is, and the more people are attracted towards us and will make invitations into our work. They'll recognize us. So how did you find human design, Amanda? I'm very curious.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think, my cousin was like, have you heard of human design? And we put my information in, and yeah, I started looking into it, and I was like, this makes so much sense. Like in my body, it wasn't like to my brain it made sense. I felt it. I was like, oh, and in a sense, it's what I've been learning anyways.
Mm.
So it helped to have a structure and even start to form a community around it, different like work styles. And my friends who are into human design and know what a projector means tend to hold more space for me to be a projector, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. And maybe that's the secret. Maybe we should introduce all of our friends to human design so they understand why it's for a projector. So when people find human design, the lady that I studied with got, really deep into human design with Miss Carrie Curry Parker. She was saying that when a projector comes into her field and when they find human design, they will literally like cry and just feel like this coming home. And not that other people, don't love human design or don't find value in it, but for the projector, because there's just this feeling of feeling so unseen, so unheard, and like just like invisible and burnt out and tired. We're not designed to live in this very masculine world. We're in fact designed to restore the balance of the divine feminine. So one of the things that's really interesting is how a lot of us, especially older projectors, I'm 40, we were already doing this work without knowing human design. I found human design early 2020, but I had for 5-6 years already teaching all of the principles about human design without knowing any of it. So that shows you how really soul resonance it is.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, and the thing too about the wanting to give advice or share what you see. And it's true. It's like I've always seen systems in a certain way, or if someone's talking, I get like hits in my body of like how to guide the energy. But if we're not asked, we can't share. And then that can feel really frustrating. So it's a surrender. It's like learning to surrender. Like, just because I have this information for this person, it's not the time. And that is such a gift to be able to practice that.
Yes, yes. And it's so interesting because I actually have some friends that are projectors, and they give so much unsolicited advice as I used to. But, obviously I know this works, so I don't now. But I understand how other people feel in their field, because it can be quite repelling, the energy of giving unsolicited advice, even though you know desperately the other person needs it. So the thing with the projectors is that we can penetrate other people's auras and know how to guide their energies. Our souls are designed for that. So all of the other types were designed to live their life. We were designed to guide other people as they were living their life. So when you're younger, it's quite frustrating walking around and having the solution to other people's problems that will just quantum leap them 10 years into the future, and not being able to say it. But I mean, I would say it, and of course it was really ill received. It burns a projector out even more. So if you are a projector and you are burnt out, the two immediate things that you can do right now to reserve some of your energy is, number one, stop giving unsolicited advice. Immediately you have some of your energy back. And second is, know that nothing in the current field of how people work, how people rest, how people do families, how people process information or engage with information, it suits you. And so you are going to be the outlier. And the sooner you can master being the outlier, the better your life will be.
Yes.
So Amanda, I'm going to ask you about the CEO Boss Queen, and we're going to take questions as well for those of you guys that are wanting to. Oh, that's amazing, Jamila. I have a win to share with you, Mina. A client said my $1,500 program should be 6K. Jamila is also in the CEO Boss Queen program. You know her, Amanda. So that is amazing. So that's the projector magic, right? Like we can quantum leap people with just 20 minutes of advice, 30 minutes of advice over what would take maybe a decade of work that it would be required for them to figure out. So we need to value ourselves more. So what I wanted to ask you, Amanda, is when you came into the CEO Boss Queen portal, into the mentorship program, what are some of the things that resonated with you, quantum leaped for you as you were in that? And I'm currently enrolling for that. It's linked below. So it'll be nice for you guys to hear from someone that's actually a member of that currently.
Well, I knew I was a projector before I signed up, and I knew my energy worked a bit different. And a lot of programs for entrepreneurs getting support, I read through them and I just feel exhausted reading through them, because I know that my energy doesn't work in that way. So what I wanted, and what I was so drawn to you and your work and your program, was that you held a container for energy to be soft and easy and fun, and that was a core value, because I knew I didn't want to hit burnout again. And if I worked like a generator or a manifesting generator, I would find burnout, and I didn't want that. And so in the CEO Boss Queen, you really have us look at what our core beliefs are. You have us dig deep. I did reflection every single morning. I woke up and I did reflection paired with my meditation practice. I did your prompts. I would listen to the various classes while I was, doing dishes or taking a walk outside. I made the whole thing delicious. You
Mm,
use words like yummy. My brand is called Live Deliciously. You use scrumptious and juicy. And I'm like, I want the process and the container that's held for my business, which is called Live Deliciously, to be held in a delicious container and by someone who also values rest and who also values boundaries around not working or overworking too hard. And you have done that for me and my business. And I now have affirmations posted everywhere. I continue, I feel seen as a projector. And that's the biggest thing for me is I feel seen by another projector. And I feel like since you're doing it, I can do it too. It's like a reminder constantly.
yes. And the CEO Boss Queen program isn't just for projectors, it's for everyone. But remember that the projectors are here to lead everyone's energy more into alignment and fun and soul based and rest and having balance in life. So one of the things I love is that we have projectors in the program. We have manifesting generators. We have generators, and the manifesting generators can use the same information and get really, really aligned with what their core beliefs and desires are, and not have to, because that hustle culture is still very much strong. You can be a generator or a mani-gen who have a lot of energy and they can create all kinds of beautiful things. And you can still get burned out in the hustle culture because the hustle culture says we have to do everything. We have to be everywhere. We have to post everywhere. That's not balance.
No. And just nervous system wise, no matter what energy type you are, the body needs rest. That's just part of it for balance. There's the two branches of the nervous system, and the branch called the parasympathetic nervous system. If we find space to rest, it naturally restores our body, but we have to be still for a little bit. And so regardless of energy, the nervous system, the human body needs to restore and repair. And you hold space for that in your program and value that.
I absolutely love that, Amanda. So your clients are really, really high achieving clients. You work with scientists, you work with,
Yes.
like some of the leading people in these fields, and they're coming to you because they're burned out because of the hustle culture and all that.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. What are the common things that you see going on for these people?
Yeah. I would say like my clients love their work. They're like, I don't want to rip myself away from my office and go home because I am just having a blast at work. They might say, I'm addicted to emails. They might say they're always forward focused. Like, I want to hit this next goal, this next goal. And they know that well-being is important. But what they don't believe is that well-being and self-care are productive. And so what I do through nervous system education, through the protocol I have about shifting belief patterns, is I help them understand that self-care and rest is extremely productive. And that seems to be my edge in with this demographic because they want to be productive. They want their business to run. And that's the thing is working and resting, it helps not only your body, it helps your business because you show up so much more present and magnetic and people are drawn to you. And so you can have both. You can have well-being and work. And that's what I share with my clients who are like, well, I don't want to rest because I'm having fun right now. I'm like, well, bring your body to work with you. Bring it with.
And then let's see if it's still having fun, right?
Yes. And the results are it takes a bit of faith because like if I take a break right now and close my eyes for 10 minutes and focus on my breath, I'm going to be losing out on 10 minutes. That's the belief.
Right.
But really, you're realigning, you're recentering your nervous system. And for the remaining 50 minutes of the hour where you lost your 10, you're thinking in a different way.
Yes, I love that. Oh my goodness. So this is one of the hardest things to convince. I work with high achieving women, and I wonder how I'm going to actually ask, I know your next question now. And I work with high achieving women, and what people don't realize is they think that if I shut off my brain or go in my body, that I'm not going to be able to think. But the information that you have access to from your brain is like so little compared to the information that you have access to from your body. So when people say to me, how do you have an answer to every question? It's because I'm accessing the field through my body, and all the answers that you need are around the field. They're through the body. But how do you know, that's one of those things. Is it more difficult with men, would you say, Amanda?
It's different. I mean, I think the men who are drawn to me are drawn to my calmness. And so they already have a buy-in there, and they want to feel that. And there is, like you talk about, there's masculine and feminine energy in every body. So they're able to just animate the state of receiving for just a little bit so that they can go into doing again.
Yes.
And they need both too.
They
and
do.
So, yeah, and I love what you said about the body. And many people don't know this, but the heart has its own nervous system. And so does the gut. So there's a bundle of nerves in the heart area and in the gut. And this is woven into our language. I love you with all my heart. I have a gut feeling. I'm here with my heart. Like we say this already, but these places in our bodies, if we drop our attention there, information can just come. Not like it's different than if you make a Venn diagram and you're like logically listing things out and trying to find the logical answer. It comes from the body and it just kind of lands. It like lands in the awareness and you're like, oh. And I think we've been cut off from these energy centers and these parts of our nervous system because we value the brain over everything else.
Yes. That's why I so resonate with the human design, because they had me at, we're not supposed to be using our brains anymore.
Yeah.
And all the information is now it's in the body. And my dad used to say this thing when I was little, that human beings, I don't know if this is the correct kind of percentage, but he would say that human beings only use about 10% of their brains. What if the other 90% is through the body? And that's the reason, because the information that I have access to at any given time is so much more, like, it doesn't make any logical sense. If you really think about it, like what I've studied is a very small percentage of the information that I always have available. And that's because I can get out of my own way, meaning turn off my brain and access the body. This is what Amanda and I mean by embodiment. Yes. Embodiment. There's the word body in there again.
Yes. Yes. Be in the body. And that's one of I say, inhabit your body, inhabit your life. And this isn't, the body also has lots of memories. It has traumas. There's a lot of things in the body. And so it's a lifelong journey. There's never a fully arriving of this. And that's the beauty of it. We peel layers and layers and layers off of ourselves, and we courageously drop in and we learn the body's language. So I work with my clients to say, they may come in saying, I'm feeling angry today. Okay, what does that feel like sensation wise? Is it tight? Is it hot? Do you see a color? Where do you feel the anger? And so we start speaking in terms of what sensations are occurring rather than just thinking about it, looping it in the brain. And then when we listen, it can pass.
Yes, I love that. That's why your work is so delicious and so yummy to me. It's exactly what the world needs right now, guys. Amanda is enrolling right now. And Amanda, tell us, so you've got 3 different portals. All 3 of them are linked in the description box, as well as her YouTube channel for those of you guys that are just coming in. So Amanda, if you would walk us through the 3 different portals and give us a little bit more information about those.
Yeah, the most kind of immediate time-sensitive one would be I'm hosting a 4-week recovery program for burnt out projectors. And it's not just for, it's inspired by the projector energy, but it's really, I think we live in this society that is overworked and burnt out. So it is for other energy types if you feel burnt out. But I called it a recovery program because I find that no matter how much we know that rest is good for us, it's so hard to sit down and do it for some reason. And so I'm going to hold that container and work with over 4 weeks the course of whoever is in this program and see what's your unique schedule like, what kind of modalities work for you, and create reflection and dialogue around rest and really rehabilitation from chronic stress and burnout. So I have that, and that starts June 4th. And there's a pre-launch price available by May 23rd. The second option I have would be the Science and Magic membership. And that is a monthly membership. You get access to this portal with all these class videos. So a lot of people, especially busy bees, really like it because you can access the content whenever you want. And a lot of times high achievers, really busy people, they do classes like late at night or really early in the morning, and they don't have to worry about schedule. But I curate the classes. So I make it really easy on choice fatigue. I lay them out in a PDF. I have a weekly embodiment practice. I make it so it's not like an overwhelming database of hundreds of different classes and you're like, I don't even know where to start. But you also get a monthly live session with me as a member, and then you get a couple of live yoga classes as well. And then the third option would be working with me with coaching. I have 2 6-month programs. One is called Work Deliciously, and the other is called Create Deliciously. We learn about the nervous system. We talk about magic. We talk about spirituality. We talk about how to really bring your body to your life with you and not have to cut anything out necessarily, but how to embody the state you're in, how to use your 5 senses more, and then live more deliciously. So that's why I say awaken to your already delicious life.
I
Because
love
life's
it.
delicious already.
It is. I
Yeah.
love it. Oh my God, you're speaking to my soul. And Amanda, we've got some of your clients writing testimonials right now.
Oh my
Melissa's
gosh.
here, and she said, "This is
Oh,
me. I've been
Melissa.
lucky enough to work with Amanda one-on-one. But for those people who resonate with the high achiever, doesn't want to leave work, if you're accomplishing so much with just your mind, imagine what can happen if you bring your body to work and access that wisdom. You can double the power, and it's otherworldly in action." So Amanda, I love that you say bring your body to work, and I
Yes.
also love the phrase that you just used, choice fatigue. Please tell us a little bit more about both of those.
Oh, choice fatigue. It gets me so badly everywhere in stores, online. I think there's so much information out there. It's like, think of it. So for me, like if I go to a secondhand store, some people really, they love digging. I'm like, take me to a boutique and show me the outfit.
Yes.
Then I can just pick the outfit.
Yes. You're like
Because my brain, I lose so much energy having to choose. Like think of going to a supermarket with very, very long aisles. And like sometimes I stare and I'm looking at like the ketchups and I'm like,
I'm dizzy.
I'm dizzy. So I'd rather go to a store that that I know buys the exact ketchup I want. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't have to choose it. And I saw a need for that online, especially with wellness classes, because yeah, there's just so much out there and there's so much information and it's so heady. And so I worked with a user design expert, and she helped me to just lay out the experience. So it's like a boutique to like choose so that the classes are curated. Because choice fatigue, yeah, it just like takes my energy away. I like everything. It's minimalism, I think.
It is.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
clearing the space.
I so resonate with that. I've referred to it as decision fatigue, and it causes adrenal fatigue in people and all kinds of issues. So
Yes.
yes, like the fact that you understand that, like, yes, I don't do grocery shopping in my house because of that. If I ever have to, like once a year or something, I'll go to Sprouts over Kroger, which is our local grocery store, because Sprouts has very limited choices.
Yes.
And yes, and same thing. That's why you guys see me wearing the same stuff over and over again, eliminating that choice fatigue, like Amanda said. It is key.
Yes.
Key.
Sometimes I find too, I have a friend, if I'm having a really nice event to go to, I'll just pay her to pick out my outfit for me. Because I'm like, I don't know, but I want to look nice. And so it's just like off sourcing that. The choice fatigue has really helped me to conserve a lot of energy. A
Oh my
lot.
God. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So let's talk about some major ways that we've done this. So one of the ways that I've done this is that I've married a very masculine energy provider who's a generator without even realizing, of course, I didn't know human design then.
Yeah.
And so most people are like, I think most people don't understand this. A lot of women don't, but I let him make all the decisions. And I think one of the biggest fears that women experience with this is that they think that the masculine will like take them astray, right? Like, but it's not how it works. Like, I just tell him my desires and let him make all the decisions. And then I get to be really juicy and delicious. And Amanda, you also have a masculine energy partner.
I do, yes. And it's fun since I started like diving into your work about relationships. She's a woman, but she's got a lot of masculine energy. And I started to let her embody that more by letting her lead more. And it has created so much amazing polarity. And it's just fun and it feels sacred, to like have this polarity or these different energy expressions. And I get to, it's like think of the structure of like someone holding the container, because I'm a dancer, for you to dance. It's like I think of myself like being on stage dancing, and those who are watching the dance are holding the structure for you to dance, to express, to move.
Yes.
And that's such a beautiful exchange. Like I'm going to express and be me and be wild and loose, and like you're holding this container for me energetically to be witnessed in that.
I love it. Do you know her type? What's her type, your partner?
Manifesting generator.
Oh my goodness. Yes. All projectors, if you're going to be in a relationship, I highly recommend the generator types, especially if you're planning on having kids. I think this is not something most people talk about because I can see how it would be a little taboo according to the Western culture. But if you are a projector, try to get yourself a provider and rest and be in your yummy energy. Let them handle all the other stuff for you, the decision making, that container. And I let my husband do that for 9 years. I was a stay-at-home mom, just resting and becoming the master of systems as projectors are meant to do. Then when I emerged and was like ready, here I am to be seen now. Like the as you guys can see, the wave that created coming from that place of deep nourishment, here we are, like, hi, right?
Yeah.
So if you can let a Manny Gen or a generator be your partner and be the decision maker and be that force, the driver, oh my God, your life will be so much easier.
It's so nice. I mean, we don't realize how much energy we waste with decision making. So much. Like you're thinking, so electricity is flowing through your brain in those moments, and sometimes really hard because you're like, I don't know. And then you weigh all these options and it takes away for me, it takes away my creativity, my like flow. Cause I'm like, oh, I use so much creative energy to like pick this thing or make this big decision. And like when you trust your partner to make decisions, then you outsource.
Yeah.
And they want to make the decision. So it's perfect.
I think most people are so afraid of giving up that control, but they don't realize the freedom in that. And the truth is, Amanda, most of the things, I'm guilty of this too. When I first got married, I found myself arguing with my husband about things that I actually didn't care about. Like I would get offended that he wanted to do the grocery, but he's like, but you hate doing the grocery. So I thought like, oh yeah, duh.
Yes.
We get into these like really weird power struggles for no freaking reason.
Yes.
And it's like, just let them do it. Let them support you. Relax into your energy, rest and play and be that yummy, delicious feminine energy. So projectors naturally have a very feminine energy body, but we have a very much penetrating masculine energy aura. And so we need to rest. So one thing I thought it would be fun, Amanda, is to talk about famous projectors.
Ooh.
So did you guys know that Marilyn Monroe, Obama, JF Kennedy, and Nelson Mandela were all projectors, are all projectors. Some of those people, Obama is still alive, thankfully. They're all projectors. And if you look at Obama's pictures from taking office and then after he left, he aged rapidly because obviously he was not using his, you can't in office use your projector energy effectively because you're not getting enough rest. JFK had massive autoimmune issues. Autoimmune and projectors, burnt out projectors go hand in hand. The only one out of those four that knew how to use their energy effectively was actually the late Nelson Mandela. He was like the role model example of how a projector is supposed to be using their energy.
Mm, that's amazing. I know I was even thinking before coming onto this live stream, like I spent my morning being in my body, connecting to the divine. There's so much for projectors, kind of prep work that goes into arriving somewhere. That it's like we can't think of our work as getting paid per hour because there's so much prep work that goes into arriving for that hour. It's a potent hour. It's like I know for me, that's when at least I feel the most clear and connected to my body, to my guides, to the energy field, then I offer the best words. I offer the best energy. But if I don't take that time, I don't arrive in my fullness and I'm not using my energy right for me.
Yes, yes. And I love you're very generous on your YouTube channel, Amanda, with sharing some of those processes and things. So once again, for those of you guys that are just joining us, Amanda's YouTube channel is called Science and Magic. And that is linked in the description box under this video, as well as all of her programs and coaching stuff that like the membership portal that she has and her 2 coaching memberships are also listed below. You're going to find so much value from her channel, from her programs. I mean, she's giving it all to you. And yes, what you just said right now is something once in a while we'll get clients email or prospective clients or students emailing saying they want to know exactly how many hours and minutes of content is in certain programs. And it's quite interesting because when I purchase things or I don't, to me, it's not about how many hours it is. And like, so think of it this way. If you went to someone and they said, I'm going to solve your problem, and you're like, how long will it take? If they say it's going to take 30 hours, there's 30 hours of content versus if they say 2 minutes, give me 2 minutes, right? It doesn't matter, right? Like the time doesn't matter, but some people are so caught up in that. And I find that super interesting how they want to know exactly. And it doesn't happen that often, but it's still that world of like output, right? Like that, like, so for a projector, don't worry about how long the thing will be, because for projector energy, we can quantum leap you in minutes because we can penetrate your aura and see this. Now, manifesting generators and generators, they can master things and gain mastery, but they're supposed to have mastery over a long period of time. So it's like a slower mastery, like taking a decade, and just like learning slowly. As a projector, you quantum leap. So you can take in little bits of information and gain mastery really, really quickly. So it's none of the types are better than one another. They're all different and they all have their like superpowers. So find the superpower of your design. So what would you say are your biggest superpowers that for your projector type that you really find delicious?
I mean, I think it took me a while to really understand the power of this because it came so naturally to me. But being in my body and helping others be in their body, I didn't understand that was something that was so needed. And I think even over the past year, we become so digital. And we're so not even in our brain sometimes. We're like on the screen.
Zombie.
We're like projecting like avatar versions of ourselves all the time into this like, and I think the skill set of being in these earth bodies we have, because we are of the earth, that's really what I'm the best at. And I've learned a lot. I didn't mention this, but I went to the Rolf Institute of Structural Integration. So it's a form of hands-on body work with the fascia. And we were really taught to show up in our midline with presence and to sit in our hearts. And I know that sounds like that might be, well, like, oh, everyone can do that, and everyone can, but we forget how. And I think so much moves when you're listened to. So not only, like, for me, I'm really good at being in the body and helping others be in the body, but I am a deep listener. And I find that when I listen in my sessions, things automatically move, because every single person is their own best teacher. And you know this too, Mina, because you hold that space too. And so by asking the right questions and listening with your heart and with your full body, that energy is witnessed and it moves naturally. And I have that skill set, both in my body work practice and in my coaching practice.
Oh, I love that. You guys, you definitely need to go check out her program. So the one that's closing, can you give us the dates again, the pre-launch one?
Yep. So it opens up on June 4th, and it'll be 4 group coaching calls every Friday. But the pre-launch special ends on May 23rd.
Okay.
And
And that
so,
one is linked in the description box. I'm going to see if I can quickly grab the link. That one is the Rejuvenate and Restore. Am I right?
yep, rejuvenate and restore.
Okay. So ladies, I'm going to go ahead and throw that link in the chat right now for you. That's the one that's like the deep recovery. And like Amanda said, it's great for projectors, but it's great for anyone
Yes,
experiencing
anyone.
burnout, even men. It's for men
Yes.
as well, correct?
Yes. And I think men are really on overdrive in our society, like high performing, and in some ways they have more energy for it, but they still have nervous systems that still need rest. And
Yeah.
I love working with men and helping them to find a state of rest that can show up to their relationships in a more balanced way, their home life, their career. It doesn't take a lot. It's not like we have to be resting for 2 hours a day. We can weave little bits of rest in throughout the day. It's a perspective shift.
Yes, I love that. Um, okay, so does anyone have any questions? Well, we've got Amanda. She's been very generous with her time. And any questions coming up for you guys for Amanda? I'm also a great listener. My Venus is in the gate of the listener. Ooh, okay, alchemy goddess. And we've got a couple members to the Million Dollar Babes Club. Welcome in, everyone. I'm gonna post every Friday you get an embodiment practice, and I'm gonna do that after this call. I'm a little late today. Any questions coming up for Amanda for any of her programs? General questions for her? And let me actually, Amanda, throw your YouTube channel link in the description box. It's already in the description box, but in the chat as well for people. Would you do a video on your magic water you make? I think you have that video, Nicole. Nicole asked this. Do you, Amanda?
I would do that. Thank you for asking. I love talking about water, so that felt like an invitation for me to do so.
That is a divine invitation. I love it.
I love talking about all things water. Yes, I'm a very big water geek.
Oh, I love it. Okay, great. Um, Someone asked, Amanda, what kind of projector type and profile are you?
I'm a splenic projector and then 3-5 profile. And so that to the spleen, it's like we just get hits like yes or no. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I've learned to trust that. It's almost like that gut energy, though it is a different part of the body. But I did spend, when I learned that, I spent some time, like I looked up where the spleen was to refresh my anatomy. And then I like spent some time literally meditating on the spleen.
Mm. So it's so interesting, Amanda. I have an emotional authority, and I used to live like I had a splenic before I knew human design. And I've been hit up against some resistance with that. I also have a defined spleen, but um, I had, you may have even heard me saying this recently. I was just like, yeah, I'm just, I trust my spleen. I'm just going to use it. But lately, it's been kind of like blowing up in my face a little bit of like, that is not your authority. Like,
There you
stop
go.
acting like you can bypass that and it's going to be okay.
Ah,
So I'm having to really go back and own that emotional authority.
yes. And that's riding your emotional waves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a little bit like difficult to like face and be like, okay, Mina, like stop pretending like you're a splenic. But with the splenic, it's like you get the hit, but it doesn't come back again, right? Like it is
Mm.
what it's like you can't access it again. You have to trust it.
Yep. Yeah, you have to trust it. And it's just like, okay. And then it's like, it's really that, yeah, it removes all logic.
Mm.
It's like you really have to trust that like gut, like deep in the organs and the abdomen. And it's like, it feels like an ancient yes or no, you know, that's,
Yes.
yeah.
We're all emotional projectors, or not, I'm sorry, not emotional projectors. We're all emotional authority in my house. So
Lots of emotions,
that's kind of
just ocean waves.
interesting. Um, so Yeni, you can have a reading done to find out the human design chart is not meant so that you can find out all of that stuff on your own. So today we're just kind of assuming that people know some of the stuff and just kind of talking about that. But if you're new to human design, you definitely want to have a reading done to understand more and then find someone that can help guide your energy. So Goddess said, hi, Amanda. I'm a 6'2" splenic projector. Do you have any advice for a singer who hasn't performed? Oops. Who hasn't performed in a long time? I feel nervous and I'm singing on stage tonight. Wow, girl.
Oh, I love performers. Hello. I would say so. When I get nervous before I perform, that's normal. And just remembering that and knowing the sensation. So you might feel adrenaline rushing through your body. You might feel little butterflies in your gut. Your heart might be pumping. And you can kind of say, like, hi, adrenaline, like, welcome. Thank you for helping me to move and to be present. So that's the first step. And the second, this is a whole module that I do with my clients, but the human heart has its own nervous system. And when we drop the attention into the heart, it actually turns on this part of the brain called the frontal lobe. And this helps us to be composed. So we can be stressed, because when we try to make the stress go away, it doesn't really work. We just get more anxious. So you say, hi, adrenaline, welcome. Give me some energy. You drop the attention in the heart, and then you're able to be composed on stage.
I love that. Love it. What do you mean about being an outlier outside of not giving unsolicited advice as a projector?
About being an outsider?
Yeah, like outlier. I think I had made that comment, but do you want to talk about that, Amanda, a little bit about how being a projector goes against everything you've learned in society of what it
Oh,
means
yeah.
to make money or work?
Yes. Well, I mean, I grew up with a single mom who worked 3 jobs. And so I grew up, and she would not take help from anyone. She's very prideful. And like, bless her soul, she did such a good job raising my sister and I. But I have this code of like, it's hot, like, work is hard,
Mm.
work exhausts you, and you make money by the hour. And
Oh,
so I was moving through that belief system for a long time in my life. And I think that's pretty, at least, in the working class, I feel like that's a pretty normal belief of just like work is something you clock in, you clock out, you get paid per hour. And it comes with stress. It comes with, my mom had her fair share of like health issues throughout that time.
mm.
And actually, it's like what we just talked about. If I take, and this is extreme for projectors, but 5 hours of a work day, and I pray and I rest and I do an embodiment practice and I read and I kind of just, sometimes I just meander around my house doing whatever I want to do. Those 3 hours are going to be so much more productive. So I've had to do a lot of reprogramming of like, work is this structured in this 8-hour day. And it's really not like that. Like, different time chunks can have different results depending on how we bring our whole selves into those time chunks.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So, Crystal, Amanda actually doesn't do readings. And so she is an embodiment coach. She'll teach all types and men and women to go into their body. What I would recommend is finding a reader and they can help you reverse engineer your chart if you don't know what time you were born. So there's readers out there that are proficient in astrology and they can reverse engineer and tell you the time that you were born. There's no such thing as a manifesting projector. Yes. She said she had an aha moment. Thank you for answering, Amanda.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll take one more question for Amanda, and then you can go check her out on her channel and ask her any questions you want over there. Let me see. Let me see. Any other ones that are more on embodiment? Hi, Amanda. Thank you for what you've shared so far. Could you speak to waiting for invitation and what it means to you? That's a good one.
Yes. This one, actually, you've helped me a lot with this, Mina, because you reframed it for me. You said, become the invitation. And I was like, I can do that because that means you're not kind of sitting around twiddling your thumbs. You're working on yourself. You're finding balance in your nervous system. You're feeding yourself yummy foods. You're living deliciously. And you, by living as your unique imprint in the world, invitations just come in. This reminds me of this story. My partner and I decided to go to this all-inclusive resort one year. And it was just like everything. It felt so luxurious. Like we'd walk out and like they'd say, oh, here's the towels. We'd watch the sunrise every morning. I'd left work completely. And within that week that I was gone, I came back and my dream client had found me on LinkedIn. I wasn't doing anything. I was taking care of myself. And the most amazing intern slid into my DMs on Instagram offering. And this just because I felt I was magnetic, I was connecting to the sun, I was connecting to the earth, the sand. I wasn't worrying. I was literally an invitation. You want some of this golden energy right now? And by some miracle found me on LinkedIn, not even like I wasn't posting on, it was my energy. And that's, I think, really what that is. It's like, can we care for ourselves? And then within that caring for ourselves, we become a mysterious magnet. And this is some of the mystery of it. But it works.
It really does. And it goes against society because society says if you're on vacation, you better be posting this picture and doing this. And yeah, there's still, even a vacation can become very much that hustle culture kind of vibe.
Yes, planning an itinerary. Some people like that, I think. But like for me, I just want a vacation. Like I want to wake up and decide moment to moment where I want to go and embody being on vacation. So now I try to, as much as I can during the day. Not every day is like this. I don't want to like lie about that, but I try to embody a vacation in my home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I very much relate to that. I actually did a video on that topic like 5 years ago, vacationing every day. It's so
nice
how projectors, just like we all resonate. It's like we all eventually find that same stuff. And again, it goes from the field. I have to say this, Amanda, because I used to make this mistake when I was years ago. I would watch like someone that I thought was really smart or they had access to some information. My first thought would be, what book can I read? What book did you read? Like, where did you learn this? And I kind of find it funny because people do this to me now. And there's no book for someone's wisdom. I think the projector really embodies as well is that when you're in your body and you access the field, that information is fresh and new and it's constantly coming to you. But people often ask me, what book can I read to find out everything you know? And it's like, I don't know, I can't be downloaded into anything, but you have access to your own information fields.
Yes, that's it. That's the core of what I do because like projectors work in that way, but all bodies have their own wisdom, every single person. And so when we are able to spend time with our body, with our heart, with our gut, with, however we relate to the divine, if we do, it's like our own answers come and we're empowered to be in our lives how we want to be in them, regardless of conditioning from family, from society. It's like when we have access to our own nervous system, our own intuition, we're unstoppable. We really are.
Yes, I love that. So everyone, thank you so much for joining this lovely conversation. Amanda and I can like literally talk for hours.
It's true.
We do. But definitely go and check out her YouTube channel. She's got 3 different offerings right now. They're all posted below. She's got the Science and Magic membership portal. She's got the Rejuvenate and Restore recovery program, and she has the Create Deliciously and Work Deliciously program. So you can check out all of that on her YouTube channel as well, or use the links below. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you in the next one. Let me figure out how to end this live stream. Oh, I figured it out. Here it is. Me and technology. Okay, it's ending it now.
Okay,
Okay, bye everyone.
bye.